Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. Introduce myself Muhammad Farras Suhaemi with 1924067. Student identification number from the Information System Study Program, class 191A38. Respect lectures of the English course Mr. Arrizqi Ramadhan, SS M.Pd and all staff of the teaching board of the course in this one semester. On this occasion, I made a video about the first. I will argue about the lecturers at BSI University, and the second, I will discuss the presentation material page about the question word. By making this video, I hope it can be beneficial, especially for myself and for my friend who watch this video. In addition to that, condition for assessing English course assignment, let's just discuss them one by one without lingering. In the initial activity, namely ORMIC or academic orientation, in this activity, new students are given an introduction to various kinds of activities that will be carried out during the lecture period later. There I adapted to the environment and got to know some friends who had just met at the time. After that, several lectures were also introduced to this activity, and I began to get to know the lecture from his simplicity, friendliness, and protection of every new student. And when the lecture started, I got to know the character of each lecture better and was really grateful to be able to receive the knowledge given by every lecturer at BSI Cibitung, and the many experience told by each lecture that made my mindset open. Hopefully, this initial step can bring me personally and all my comrades a bright time, achieve what is inspired to, and become a useful person and apply the knowledge that has been learned in the surrounding environment. On this occasion, I will discuss the question word. Before entering the discussion of the word question, there are any words that are used to ask various things in certain circumstances. It is commonly referred to and known as 5W plus 1H or WH question. The 5W include who, when, where, why, what, which, and 1H includes how. And then explain the meaning and explanation of the question words that we will learn in this meeting. And here is the WH question display infographic. Who, what, when, where, why, how. WH question word. Here we understand first for the meaning and explanation, definition and explanation the question word. In English, question words are the words that used to ask something like place, people, reason, why, and so on. We know the term 5W plus 1H. This is no different from the question word that we will discuss now, namely what, where, when, whom, who, whose, which, and how. And let's move on to the next page. Here are the various types and function of explanation of question words. The first thing we understand first is the question words what and whether, used to ask about object or something. And here there are also several examples of the use of the question word what. What do you know about this major? What are you doing here? What is the meaning of this word? The next thing we understand first is the question word where and who. Where, because, used to ask about a place or location in English. And here there are also some examples of the use of the question word. Where is his house? Where will you go tonight? And who. Who used to ask about people or subject. Who itself means who. Some examples of the use of the question word who. Who? Who are you best friend here? Who can help me now? The next thing we understand first is the question word which. Which and whom. Which. Which used to ask about a particular person, object, or thing that is meant from several people or object. Some examples of the use of the question word which. One of which is I which book that you want, which menu that you make. Whom. Whom used to ask the person affected by the action. Some examples of the use of the question word whom. One of which is whom are you talking about? Whom are you love? The next thing understand first is the question word whose and why. Whose relate to ownership of or possession, namely which person own the thing or object in question. Some examples of the use of the question word, one of which, whose bag is it, whose novel is it, and why. Why has the meaning of why, used to ask for a reason for something. Some examples some examples of the use of the question word why, one of which is why are you learning about that? Why are you sad? The next thing we understand first is the question word how. How used to ask about the condition of an object or something. How means how. And here there are also some examples of the use the question word how. One of which is how is your day? How you answer this question? How do you do? How do you treat your mom? The next thing we understand first is the question word how often and how far. How often is used to indicate the intensity of a person's habit. And here there are also some examples of the use of the question word how often. Of what on one of which is how often do you go to school in a month? How often do you catch junk food in a week? Next, how far? How far used to ask how far the distance is. Some examples of the use of the question word how far. One of which is how far is that to go to Yogyakarta by train? How far do you understand the lesson? The next thing we understand first is the question word how many and how much. How many is used to ask how many of something that can be countable noun. Some examples of the use of the question word how many, one of which is how many rabbit in the cage, how do you many times do you clean your garden in a month. How much? How much is used to ask about the amount of something that cannot be counted, uncountable noun. Some examples of the use of the question word how much, one of which is how much money do you have, how much stars in the sky. The next thing we understand first is the question word how long and how old. How long is used to ask about the duration of time. Some examples of the use of the question word how long, one of which is how long do you go to school, how long the football match lasts. How old is used to ask about the age of a person or object. Some examples of the use of the question word, one of which is how old is your father, how old is your house. Furthermore, here we are also still discussing the various types and functions of the word question. What? What, which has the function of asking for information about something, asking for repetition or confirmation, with an example sentence as follow. What is your name? What? I can hear you. You did what? What for? Asking for a reason, asking why. With an example sentence as follow. What did you do that for? When? When asking about time. with an example sentence as follow. When did he live? Where? Where, asking in or at what place or position. With an example sentence as where do you they live? Which? Which, asking about choice. With an example sentence as follow. Which color do you want? Who? Who, asking what or which person or people. Subject. With an example sentence as follow. Who opened the door? Whom? Whom, asking what or which person or people. Object. With an example sentence as follow. Whom did you see? Whose? Whose, asking about ownership. With an example sentence as follow. Whose are the sky? Whose turn is it? Why? Why, asking for reason, asking what for. With an example sentence as follow. Why do you say that? Why don't? Why don't, making a suggestion. With an example sentence as follow. Why don't I help you? How? How, asking about manner, asking about condition or quality. With an example sentence as follow. How does this work? How was your exam? How plus adjective, asking about extent or degree. With an example sentence as follow. See example below. How far? Distance. With an example sentence as follow. How far is Pattaya from Bangkok? How long? Length, time, or space. With an example sentence as follow. How long will it take? How many? Quantity countable. With an example sentence as follow. How many cars are there? How much? Quantity uncountable. With an example sentence as follow. How much money do you have? How old? Age. With an example sentence as follow. How old are you? How come? Informal. Asking for reason, asking why. With an example sentence as follow. How come I can't see her? This page explains the essence of 5W plus 1H with examples of its use. Who? Used to about people. Example, who is talking. What? Used to about thing. When? Used to about time. Where? To about place. Why? Used to about reason. How? Used to about state. Next, we discuss the formula used to create the commonly used interrogative formula. The first formula informing WH question. Generally, WH question are formed as follows. The first, WH word plus auxiliary verb do, does, did plus subject plus main verb. Example, what do you like to do in your free time? Next, the second formula, WH word plus be verb am, is, are, was, where plus subject. Example, where is the conference held? Example, where is the conference held? Next, the third formula, WH word plus modal verb can, my, should plus subject plus main verb. Example, who can help you with this project? And then here I saw the question words that are used for certain situation and conditions. The first is if are in a restaurant. What would you like to order? How spicy would you like your food? And the second is when we are at school. When is the final exam? Who is the principal? The school. The third is when we are on the way. During a trip. Where are you going next? How far is the next stop? And the last is to show examples of the use question word in every conversation. In daily conversation. Why are you so happy today? Whose idea was this? That's enough discussion of the question material that I can convey. Sorry for the inappropriate choice of words. Please criticize and suggest. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.